Hey everyone, Chris here. Thanks for stopping by the Fox Files. Today I am going to be talking about another true crime case that I came across, and I want to give you guys fair warning that this one does get a little bit graphic and it's pretty disturbing. So if you're sensitive to this kind of stuff, I would click off the video now. So here we are. We are in London. It's April 1st. It's 2016. And no, there is no April Fool's Day joke going on here. PC, Police Constable Gordon Sempler, goes onto a gay dating app called Grindr. What Gordon does not know is that this will be his last hookup ever. For those of you that don't know, Grindr is an online dating app, and that it is pretty much known for its casual hookups, really fast rendezvous, stuff like that. Grindr does allow you to put in certain codes into your profile, and that lets potential partners know what kind of sex or what kind of person you are. You know, like if you're a dominant, submissive, that kind of stuff. It is stated that when the detectives later on went and looked at Gordon's history on Grindr, it is clear that he wanted to be dominated. So Gordon, he is a 59-year-old man. He was originally from Inverness, Scotland. He had a loving partner of 25 years. He was a senior officer and had over 30 years on the Metropolitan Police Department. He was very well liked. He was described as a caring, gentle man. He was very soft-spoken, and even one of his friends described him as a great big teddy bear. What people did not know about Gordon is the fact that he had a ferocious appetite for sex, and that he did spend a lot of time on Grindr. As I mentioned earlier, on April 1st, Gordon did log on to Grindr, and he's trying to hook up. He's trying to have an afternoon rendezvous, something fast and quick. His history shows that he messaged a few men that afternoon looking for no strings attached, casual sex. One person answered him back, and his name was Stefano Brizzi. Stefano did invite Gordon back to his apartment, and because Gordon had so many successful hookups in the past, you know, I would imagine that he didn't think this would be any different. Stefano Brizzi, he was a 50-year-old man, originally from Italy. He had a strong Catholic upbringing, so with him being gay and the alleged diagnosis of having HIV, he saw himself as evil, and he had even started getting into, you know, the satanic stuff. During the trial, it was stated that the police found a copy of the Satanic Bible on his computer, and they also found a notebook that had many notes, letters written to the devil. He had moved to London in 2012, and he also had, at that time, a well-paying job as a web developer. He later on quit his job because he, I guess, got really addicted to online dating, the casual hookups, and he found himself very addicted to the drug crystal meth. His Grindr profile indicated that he was a dom, and he was free now for a hot, dirty, sleazy session. Oh boy, like where is that gonna go? So now Gordon agrees to go to Stefano's apartment, and he arrives around 3 p.m. that afternoon. Now, no one really knows what happens in the apartment, but during the investigation, it does show that there was no online activity between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Now, we can all probably use our imagination as to what was happening in that hour. We'll just use our imagination. Just after 4 p.m., both men logged on to their own Grindr accounts, and according to the history on the app, they were looking to start a sex party. They were messaging different men, trying to get a bunch of people together for, I guess, this sex party, this orgy, whatever you want to call it. So later on, one of the Grindr users that actually had responded to this so-called party showed up to Stefano's apartment, and he was told through the intercom that they were having a situation there, that someone had fallen ill, they were taking care of it, the party is canceled. So later on that afternoon and through the evening, Gordon's partner had tried to message him and call him multiple times. And because the fact that Gordon did not come home that night, the next morning, his partner did report him officially missing. No one saw Gordon again. Now, during the trial, it was argued that Stefano, high on drugs, tied Gordon up, then strangled him until he died. So on April 7th, almost a week after this murder, neighbors started reporting a strong, foul smell coming from Stefano's apartment. One of the neighbors was so concerned that he actually came to Stefano's door and knocked on it. Stefano answered. He seemed calm, he seemed relaxed, like nothing was going on, and mumbled something about cooking something, and that's where the smell was coming from. The neighbor went back to his own apartment, but was really concerned about the kind of odor that was coming from Stefano's apartment, and he contacted the police. 2:30 that afternoon, police show up at Stefano's door, knock on it, and Stefano comes to the door, and he's only wearing a pair of pink boxer shorts. Now, the police officers did state that there was a strong smell of acid and of rotting flesh. Like the smell was so overpowering that they entered the apartment to have a look around. And after a few minutes of looking around, the police asked Stefano if there was anything he had to say. Stefano then looked at one of the officers and said, "I killed a police officer. I killed him last week. I met him on Grindr and I killed him. I tried to dissolve his body." Okay, what? Are you kidding me? So anyway, police take Stefano into custody and they take him down to the police station. At the police station, Stefano changed his story and then claimed that Gordon had only died because of a sex game gone wrong, gone bad. Well, yeah, it clearly went bad, all right.
Is there anything you can tell me about what you did between the 1st and the 7th before you were arrested?
No comment.
So now Stefano is down at the police station. He's in custody. Crime scene analysis, detectives, they're all in the apartment doing this search, this investigation. And I'm going to give you another warning that this is where it gets pretty graphic and pretty disturbing. So here's your warning now to click off if you are sensitive to this kind of stuff. So it is discovered that during the autopsy that there was evidence of strangulation because of all the bruising and markings on Gordon's body. It is also shown that Stefano was captured on CCTV in a nearby store buying buckets, a saw. He was buying metal sheeting, bottles of acid, and cleaning supplies. So on a side note, during the trial, Stefano admitted that he was inspired by the TV show Breaking Bad, and he tried to dissolve Gordon's body by using acid, and he said he was inspired because they had done that in one of the episodes of the show. He really needs to stop watching TV. One of Gordon's severed feet was found in the nearby River Thames. There were garbage bags filled with body parts, including mounds of flesh, human pelvis, and part of a spine. There was also around the apartment buckets of liquidy substance, and one of the worst things is the fact that crime scene investigators found DNA evidence of Gordon inside the oven, on chopsticks, on a chopping board, like, you know, one of those cutting boards, and inside a cooking pot. There was also evidence that there was a bite mark on one of Gordon's ribs. So, I mean, what happened when the acid was not dissolving the body? Did Stefano resort to cannibalism? This was brought up in the trial, although that there was no solid proof that Stefano had consumed any part of Gordon. I know, that was a lot. So anyway, after the trial, Stefano was found guilty on all counts, and on December 12, 2016, he was sentenced to life in prison. Anyway, on February 16th, 2017, in the Belmarsh prison, Stefano Brizzi, after only serving 2 months of his lifetime sentence, took his own life. And that is the story for today. I want to say I hope you enjoyed it, but as disturbing, as disgusting as it is hard to, you know, hard to use those terms. Anyway, you guys, that's it for today. I hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves, and we will chat with you next time.